you have a fly in your ointment? Do you have a hidden but potentially fatal flaw? How many scars do you have from shooting yourself in the foot? Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, Day 2 of Tisa, when you elevate or when you raise. Let's go back to verse 14 of Exodus, Shemot chapter 30, and read a few verses further. Everyone passing over to be registered from 20 years old and above gives a contribution to Yahweh. The rich does not give more, and the poor does not give less than a half shekel when you make a contribution to Yahweh to make atonement for yourselves. And you shall take the silver for the atonement from the children of Israel and give it for the service of the tent of appointment. And it shall be to the children of Israel for a remembrance before Yahweh to make atonement for themselves. We're talking about registering here. It's another way of communicating the idea of the men of Israel from 20 years old and above, that they were to be counted. This is a census, and yet Yah does not want us counting numbers, that is, that we would depend upon numerical strength as to being our advantage. We must always recognize that numbers, while they have a role and a place, they're not to be counted as an indication that Yah is or is not with us. So if you're part of a large group, wonderful. If you're a part of a small group, just a handful, wonderful. Because the numbers are not what Yah is looking at. He is looking at the intensity and the integrity of our individual walks and how we relate and build up one another and edify each other in the community. With that understanding, then, this word register in Hebrew is pakad. And it's spelled with a pei, which looks like an open mouth, a kof, which looks like the back of the head, or in references the last, and then a dalet, which is a door. So it's by symbolism, not necessarily a scriptural definition, but the symbolism suggests, the paleo forms, open the last door. The idea, perhaps, then, is that when we are counted or mustered or registered, we're asking someone to open up that last door of their being and reveal who they are. That is, if you're going to be counted, it's being counted upon. And we put the phrase out there, can I count on you? So the idea is that, you need to be counted on, but you have to be vulnerable at times in order for that to take place. When you look in Matthew 16, it describes what it comes down to. What will a man give for his life? What would he rather hold on to than to give up his soul? What will he trade his soul for? Here's another way of asking the question, what is the essence of our being? So when you get down to it, who are you? We all have our presentations. We all have the man or woman that makes the public appearance. Do we dress a particular style? Do we exhibit certain emotional, relational qualities? Or we the helper, or we the stand in the corner person, or who are you? But who are you really? Some folks, they are afraid to allow themselves to be seen or known because they perceive that it's to be taken advantage of. When people really knew who I was, maybe they wouldn't like me, or they would think something shameful about me. Let's understand this. Yeshua knows the best, but also the very worst of us. And his love and his commitment and his calling to us is sure. Now, that is not to say that he winks at our sin and that he excuses it without repentance, or that he overlooks it or doesn't consider it worthy of even a thought. He leads us in the paths of righteousness, the psalmist says. So that means that we are to walk before him with an idea and a heart of integrity, but it also recognizing I'm hurting here, I'm struggling here, I'm failing here, or I'm not getting to the goal here. And we present those things to him. So herein, when someone is opening up themselves and making themselves vulnerable and exposed and real with the community, trying to help, but also recognizing I don't do so good at this, but I'll try. When we put ourselves out there like that, we need a covering. The covering cannot be self-supplied. That atonement, that covering comes from Yeshua, the kofar, to cover over, or it's not so much covering up, but rather it's like sealing with pitch. Yeshua wants us to be invested. He wants us to put our hand to the plow and not look back. He wants us to take the seed that we have been entrusted with, the talent that we have been given, put it to use. Seed goes in the ground, talents go into investments. Time is that which should be measured and spent in an effort to help the kingdom. You can't give every moment of your life. You got life to live, you got family, you got work, you got things to do. But there are those moments and times that we set aside for the kingdom. When we give and we give and we give and we give, at some point Father, I've just given out. I can't handle it anymore. That's where our weakness begins to rise to the surface. And when you feel like you've been pushed to your limit, some group may call you up and say, we need your help again. In exasperation, sometimes you say, you'll have to call somebody else. I've done all I can do. There's where you need the atoning of Yeshua. He covers that. He seals that. And he helps people to understand and know, okay, yeah, they have done too much. But sometimes we recognize, wait a minute, I got more. I got something left to give. And I was too hasty. Give me a minute. Let me catch my breath. Hold on. Give me a little time. I'll catch up. The goal in building this community is to become interlocked. The word says that a threefold cord is not easily broken. It is when we're bound together, when we are serving together, that Yah makes us strong. Nobody is supposed to carry all the weight on one set of shoulders. Never been designed for that. But where we give and we give and we give and we feel vulnerable and we feel overworked and we feel overtaxed, we need the sealing of Yeshua. We need atonement is more than just covering a sin or fixing a wrong. Atonement is about sealing us up so that the wrong things don't get in. The Ark of Noah was sealed so that the water couldn't get in. But it also sealed so that the boards wouldn't come apart and those on the inside wouldn't fall out. Sometimes we are so bent on the defense against those things that are forces contrary to us from the outside that we forget to take care of the things that are on the inside. Look around you, whether it be at your job, in your community, in your home, in your congregation. Find the places that need to be sealed. Allow Yeshua to help you to spread the pitch, to smooth over the cracks. Sometimes that's with an effort of your part. Sometimes it's a prayer for someone else in their part. But we work together. We're building a community this week. Stay at it. stay focused, stay alert to Yeshua, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Shalom.